So before I start, let me give you a brief about what I'm going to deliver in this session. Here I will talk about the importance of visual testing. What is visual testing? Why is it in need? And make you aware of visual testing tools. How visual testing tools are useful for tracking UI defects. Also, we will have a look at practical demonstration of UI defects and see how deadly it may be when it comes to user experience. Okay. So without any further ado, let's get started. If you test your application and see this error, what would you do? Obviously, you identify that this is a UI defect because the screen looks messed up due to the overlapping of this text. However, your test automation doesn't catch that if you automate the screen and execute test scripts. Let's see another example. If you see the screen while using the application, what would be your take on this? Again, you would say labels are not properly aligned with buttons. As you can see, no should be aligned with this button, but it is not in its place. But if you see the same screen while testing, I bet that you easily and immediately identify that this is a defect. And probably you end up raising this issue as a very high priority issue because this makes your app unusable and also impacts the user experience negatively if you launch the product with this UI defect. I have one more example, like a real world example to show you, and this is it. As we all know that Twitter has great engineers, then why does this bug escape their notice? So all these bugs are known as visual bugs. The bugs you don't explicitly look for, but you notice when they do occur. However, when you automate test and run, there is no human intervention to catch these issues. For example, if a functional test is automated for the screen, it will pass because the labels are present, the radio buttons are present, and functionally it works because the button is clickable. As you can see, the button is clickable. But what if your test automation is not catching visual bugs and the change is pushed to the production? That you don't know about it until a customer reports it, and by then it's too late. Hence, to overcome this drawback, a lot of visual testing tools have been introduced, and this is where Applitools comes into the picture. This tool helps find visual bugs in the application, ensure that no visual elements are overlapping in visible or off page. It also makes sure that no new unexpected visual elements appear on the page, all of which are things that you can't automate with a traditional function. But again, the question arises, why Applitools? What makes it stand out from the rest of the tools when there are a lot of visual testing tools available in the market? And the answer lies in its accuracy. According to the reports, Applitools reports bugs with 99.9995% accuracy in the comparison of other visual testing tools. Let me show you how Applitools catches visual bugs. I have a sample code for that. We will run this code twice or maybe thrice. So before we get started, let me explain this code to you, what it is supposed to do, and later we will run it. So I have imported ice.protector, which is Applitools library that comes with Node.js. Again, when you create an account on Applitools, every user account has a unique API key associated with it, and you'll find that here. So you have to copy this API key and paste in your code. Here. When we run this code, if we launch Chrome browser, navigate to the applitools.com hello world website, and we have added checkpoint of Applitools. What it does is it takes a screenshot of the whole window, okay, and later it closes the browser. We will run the script again, but this time we will comment this one and uncomment this one, these two checkpoints. Okay, let me show you. It navigates to this website. It takes a screenshot of this window. Okay, and closes the browser. When we run it for the next time, it again navigates to this website, and this time it clicks on this button, and we are assuming that this is an unexpected visual element. We don't want it. We will consider it as a bug, and let's see how Applitools catches this UI defect. I mean how it uniquely identifies the difference between two screens. Okay, it opens the Chrome browser, maximizes it, navigates to Applitools Hello World website, takes a screenshot of the whole window, and closes it. The first time when we run the test, it fails. It actually not fail. It doesn't fail. When we come to the Applitools platform, it goes into unresolved state. It means Applitools lets us examine the screen. Sorry, there is something wrong with the issue. Just give me a minute.
We call them curse of the demos.
Sorry?
Nothing, go on.
Okay. Let's run this code. I hope this works this time. So, ideally, it should take only screenshot this one, but let me explain you the for the why it's not. Okay, when we takes a screenshot, when Applitools takes a screenshot for the first time, it goes into unresolved state. It means it lets us decide to examine the screen and take a call whether this screen is as per expectation or not. If the screen is as per expectation, then we have to save the screen by clicking on the thumbs up. After saving the screen, it saves this image as a baseline image. Okay. Guys, let me just uncomment all of this. It's messing up. It has passed the test this time. Because I have already saved this image as a baseline image, that's why it has passed this test. Okay. So in order to get the bug, let's add this URL here and let's run this test scripts again. This has failed the test because the change is detected. And it goes into unresolved state. Again, we will see if there is any change on the screen, and the change is highlighted pink, as we can toggle between the baseline image and the newly taken screenshot. The numbers you see pink in color, that is a change, and it has detected a change. So this way it catches a visual defect on the screen. So we have seen what is the workflow of, how Applitools works. It drives the AUT and takes screenshot. It compares screenshots with baseline images, report differences, and updates the baseline. This brings me to the end of this video session. Thank you. I hope you are convinced and this topic is convincing.
वर्षा वर्षा बताएंगी हमें.
Yeah, I was about to say Rahul. It was really a nice session. Vivek had already shown it to me before. And yeah, he had tested on simplified credit as a, yes, made a screen as a baseline. It's really helpful, right, for catching the vision. defects. Of course, the functionality is not being tested using it, but visual defects, cosmetic bugs can be easily like detected using this.
Vivek, I have one question here about this visual testing, the changes detection. So, at what level this Apply tool goes? Like, we have verified data each levels before, and then it can be changed to
Sorry, Tapan, your voice is breaking. Would you mind repeating that?
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to know, like, till what level this Apply tool goes, like, to detect the change. So we saw that if the data has been changed, some numbers has been changed, and it detects the changes. And
It
till
detects
like,
all kinds of change.
if
It
you have
detects all kinds of changes, minor changes as well. You
like,
can
does
notice
it
them.
okay? So does it check about the structural changes also, like the HTML? We have changed something. If there are any changes in the HTML tags or anything,
Sorry,
verifies
your
also.
voice is breaking, Tapan. You are echoing
Uh,
actually.
is it better now?
Hello.
Yeah, is
Yeah,
it better now?
yeah, it's better.
Okay. So I wanted to know, like, if there are any HTML changes on the like the DOM elements, if there are any tag changes, does it detect that also, changes also?
Yeah, it detects all kind of changes, all kind of UI changes only.
And if there are like CSS changes also, like color change also, that also it
Yeah,
will detect.
everything, including color,
Hmm.
Okay.
font sizes, and layouts. If any button is not in its position, it can detect that.
Yeah,
If
make
any
displacement.
unexpected visual element appear on the screen, it can locate that element as well and highlight it pink.
Okay. And if even if there is any font size changes also.
Yeah, obviously it detects that as well.
Okay. Okay.
The changes are highlighted pink in color, as you can see here. There is a change in numbers. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the number is changing randomly.
Right.
So it detects this kind of changes. But if there is anything on the application which you don't want it to detect, or it may fail test when you run your test every time. Okay, like suppose if this number changes every time we run the test scripts onto this website, because this is a randomly generated. But if you want that your test should not fail due to this randomly generated number, Applitools provides that feature as well to ignore the section like this one.
Okay.
You can ignore this part. Sorry. And save this. When you run the test scripts for the second time, it ignores that region and passes the test.
Okay.
Again, guys, do you have any queries? Okay, let's conclude the session. If you have any queries pertaining to Applitools, please let me know. I will revert to you. So guys, thank you for coming to my session.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Vivek.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Vivek.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Now